Hello everyone and welcome to Learn to Crochet with RTC, Crochet Beginnings Session 1. Today we are going to learn how to make a slip knot and also how to hold our hook and our yarn. If you have been following along with me in my Learn to Crochet series, by now we have looked at a lot of the technical information. So how to read a crochet pattern, how to select your yarn and to select your hook and how to check your gauge. Today we are finally going to get into the practicalities of it all and begin the beginning stages of crochet. Now, first of all, we are going to take a look at how to hold our crochet hook. Today I'm going to be simply using just a simple aluminum crochet hook. There are other crochet hooks out there, such as this one, which is sort of has this rubber handle on it. There's also wooden crochet hooks. There are a variety of styles, and if you're curious about crochet hooks, you can take a look at my other tutorials in this series on my blog, and there's one there all about crochet hooks. So it will give you all the information that you need. So today I'm going to be working with simply an aluminum crochet hook. There's nothing fancy about this one. This one's done by Red Heart. It's a 5mm crochet hook, and you can see that it has this flat groove here, right here, just up near the base. And that is, for some people, important. It helps with the positioning of your fingers. Now, there is no right or wrong way to hold a crochet hook. I've seen many different ways that people have held their hooks. There seems to be, though, sort of two more common ways that people find comfortable when they hold their hooks. And that is either the pencil method or the knife method. So first of all, the pencil method is done simply by holding the hook the way you would hold a pencil or a pen. It seems pretty obvious, doesn't it? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your crochet hook, and if it has these little grooves here and you find it comfortable, you can use those as a marker of where to place your fingers. And you're simply going to come up from underneath and pinch your hook between your middle and your index finger, just as you would a pencil, and then gently lay your thumb over top. The rest of the hook then lays just gently over the back of your hand or over the side of your finger here. So to show you that again, this is the pencil method. You're going to come up from underneath your hook, gently lay your hook between your middle and your index finger. Going to just gently pinch it there. You want to be able to move your hook around, but you don't want to hold it so tight that your hand starts to cramp. You just want to hold it gently there. Then you can place your thumb over top, which helps give you a little bit more maneuverability. The rest of your hook then just lays across the back of your hand or the side of your fingers there. Okay, so that is the pencil method. Some people find this quite comfortable when they are crocheting. Now the next method, which is the knife method, it's the one that I have come to be more comfortable with. I believe my mom uses the pencil method. I can't quite remember, but I've seen people use the pencil method, but I use the knife method. And the knife method is simply you hold the crochet hook the same way you would a butter knife or a steak knife. So instead of coming from under your crochet hook, you're going to come from over top of your crochet hook. And you're going to take it again, you're going to pinch it between your index finger and your thumb. Okay, so between your index finger and your thumb, you're just going to lightly place your other fingers along the back of the hook. It kind of gives it a little bit more support, a little bit more balance. And then the rest of the hook comes out under your hand, just like this. So this is the knife method. You're going to just gently pinch between your index finger and your thumb. Your other fingers are just going to lay gently along the side toward the back, and it goes underneath the palm of your hand, and that is the knife method. Okay, so those are two common ways that people like to hold their crochet hook. Again, there's no right or wrong way. As you crochet more and more, you might come up with your own method that is slightly different, but that you find really, really comfortable, and that's okay. Otherwise, if you're looking for a place to start, you can try with either of those two methods. Now, as far as holding your yarn, again, there is no right or wrong way to hold your yarn, and I've seen so many different ways of people doing it. Today, I will show you the way that I like to hold my yarn. Simply, what I do is I take my yarn and I go over, it's hard to do it looking in the camera, over my pinky finger, so that's this finger here, under my ring finger and my middle finger, and then up and over my pointer finger, just like that. So to show you again, it's going to go over my pinky finger, under my ring and my middle finger, and then over my index or my pointy finger. Then I turn my hand, and I can pinch the yarn between my thumb and my index finger. Now the yarn, I'm making sure, when I actually bring it to my hook, I'm making sure that the yarn is not slack when it goes through my fingers here, but it's also not tight. So it's not going to be, my fingers, I'm holding it between my ring finger and my pinky finger, and I'm also holding it here between my middle and my index finger and then my thumb, and I'm not holding it so tightly that I have to really pull to get the yarn through. It's just gentle. I don't know how else to describe it, so that the yarn pulls through easily. It's not too loose, but it's also not too tight. Some people, if they like a little bit of extra tension, they might wrap it around their pinky finger once. And that kind of gives them a little bit more control over how much yarn they are feeding to their hook. Okay, so I just, again, over my pinky, under my ring and my middle, and then over my index finger. I can pinch it between my thumb and my other finger, and it just helps to control the tension between the yarn and my hook. Okay, so now that we know the basics of how to hold our yarn and our hook, we are going to start by making a slip knot. Now the slip knot is the way that many pieces of crochet are started. Most pieces of crochet, unless you're doing something called a magic ring, or there's other techniques out there, you will be starting with a slip knot. So it is really foundational in learning how to crochet. When you start and make a slip knot, you're going to begin by pulling the yarn out from your ball. So this is, I have a large ball of yarn here. You're going to pull it out, and sorry about that, I lost my light. And whether you pull from the middle or from the outside of the ball, it's really, in most cases, it's your choice. So I'll be pulling from the outside of my ball today. So you're going to pull out about 6 inches. You don't have to be exact. You just want to have a little bit. This is called my tail. You want to just have a little bit of a tail on, and that'll be important for finishing your work later on. So you want to leave a little bit of a tail of yarn. So you're just going to pull that through a little bit. And then you're left with this long strand. You have your ball end here, and you have your tail end over here. To make a slip knot, what you're going to begin by doing is folding the yarn just like this in half, and then what I do is I like to, just where this loop end is here, just twist it. Just lay my ball end over top of my tail end, which is right here. Okay, I'll show you again. So I have folded it. I'm just going to pick it up and twist it. Then I am going to pick up my loop here, and either with my fingers or with my crochet hook, I'm going to stick my fingers through the loop that I just made, go through and I'm going to grab the yarn that is attached to my ball. And I'm going to pull a loop through. And then I'm going to keep pulling until that yarn tightens like that in a knot. Now I'm not going to pull the knot too tight because I want the yarn and then the slip knot to be able to glide easily over the strand that's attached to the ball of my yarn so that I can make it snug around my crochet hook. Okay, so I'll show you that one more time. So I've pulled out my yarn. I've given myself about 6 inches. I'm going to fold my yarn in half, like that. I'm going to simply pick it up and twist it. I'm going to pick up the yarn, stick my fingers through that loop, right through. I'm going to grab a hold of, the yarn that's attached to my ball, and I'm going to pull a loop through that first loop. And then I'm going to pull, just gently until my slip knot is snug. Then my yarn, my loop, I should be able to make it bigger or smaller. And I'll insert my hook through that loop and pull the loop snug. Now I want my yarn to be snug around the crochet hook, again not too tight, but also not so loose that I can see between the yarn and the hook. So I want the yarn to be up around the hook, but not so loose that I can see through. So I don't want it like this. I want it nice and snug around the hook. Just like that. And that, my friends, is how you make a slip knot. So take a few moments and practice that a few times. Become comfortable with holding your crochet hook, holding your yarn, and then working on how to make a slip knot. And when you feel ready, feel free to go on to the next tutorial, which was how to make a foundation chain. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm excited that you are joining me on this journey to learn how to crochet. Please check out my blog for the written version of this tutorial, which can be found at richtexturescrochet.com. And there you'll also find links to my Facebook and Instagram and other social media. Feel free to follow me and don't forget to subscribe to my blog. Happy crocheting! Bye!